thoughts are about the referendum in Maine. As you know, we started a year ago to, first of all, I testified before the legislature on LD 798, which was a law that was passed to remove religious and philosophical rights. And what happened is the law got passed in Maine, and then a group of volunteers tried to mount a citizen referendum to repeal it. We got 100,000 signatures. And what happened is we created an amazing community, just a beautiful community of people from all over the state. Hi, Kathy. Because I thought that Facebook had banned me from doing this, and I think they did for a while. Anyway, the referendum did not pass, and I was astounded actually by the outright misinformation from the opposition, which was supported by Big Pharma, Pfizer and Merck, 250,000 each at least. And so here we are. And what you have to do right now, as we don't want to fight darkness because it gives it energy. Darkness feeds on fear and anger. So the other thing everyone's terrified of now because of watching the news is coronavirus. I was having my nails done today, and my person there told me that she got a new puppy who was just vaccinated for coronavirus. So I guess maybe we could get the vaccine from our vets. I'm not worried about it. A couple things I want you to know. If you get your pH in the alkaline range from sleep, from the right kind of breathing, from green vegetables, or even taking a little sodium bicarb, you'll get your pH up to like 8, and that kills all viruses. Also vitamin C and zinc. But in terms of the referendum, so let me tell you what I do. I was astounded by the vote. 30% was in favor of civil rights and constitutional rights, and 70% voted to discriminate against certain children. And, why am I astounded by this? My entire career has been this, waiting for people to get a clue. I mean, the vast majority, you all have a clue. You're listening to me. God love you all. What we've created, though, this is important, is this incredible community in our state, grassroots. We have not allowed negativity, anger, or darkness to split us. There is enormous love. There's enormous community. It's boots on the ground. It's grassroots. There are no forces that will be able to split us up. And so what's going to happen, I think, is a very vital community-based homeschooled movement, co-op type. I've heard from my friends in New York that at first it was hard, and now their kids are loving it. One of my friends has two older girls, like, 12, 13. They're a year ahead of the curriculum, and they have all kinds of other time to do things because they're not held back by the school curriculum. And I know it's inconvenient, right? Like whenever you get sick because your body's trying to give you a message, it's freaking inconvenient. It's very inconvenient. My heart goes out to those people throughout Maine and New York State, and all of you battling in Connecticut. I don't want to use the term battling, standing with the light. The light's going to win. Remember, an aligned person is thousands of times more powerful than someone who's not aligned. And we are eventually, the light will win. The light is winning. Otherwise, the darkness wouldn't be pulling out all the stops like this. I mean, we've had 20 years in Maine with an ever increasing vaccination rate voluntarily. So when you have to start ramming something down people's throats, there's something wrong. Over on my website, drnorthrup.com, I put together a blog with all the vaccine facts that anyone would need. It's called 5 Myths. I don't know what it's called, but it's on there. It's, 5 health questions everyone needs the answers to. We didn't put the V word because the artificial intelligence of the darkness is now censoring that. So we don't use that. Um, I am not devastated. I probably would be if I had a 12, a 13, a 14-year-old who'd been going to school, loving their classmates, in sports, in theater, in the arts, and suddenly could not go to school. Because what this did was, I want to give you one example, maybe two. One woman in our coalition had a child who developed cerebral ataxia from a chickenpox vaccine. The child regressed, no longer walked, no longer talked. It took them a long, long time to get a diagnosis. They were awarded some kind of compensation from the vaccine adverse reaction group that is supposed to be monitoring safety. It doesn't. Less than 1% of all injuries are ever even reported. The vaccine manufacturers have zero liability, zero. I mean, and they can mandate these things with no liability? God, that would be quite a thing, wouldn't it? If my business had no liability, it would save me thousands of dollars. Yours too. Anyway, no liability, and then they can push whatever they want. New York now is trying to mandate the HPV vaccine. When I was in Hartford at a press conference, a young woman, 18, beautiful young woman, came up to me and she said, "What should I do? I got 3 doses of Gardasil and now I'm menopausal." It broke my heart. I knew this was going on, but you know, when you meet somebody, and she said, "What should I do? I'm not sure I can ever have children." Her hormone levels were in the menopausal range. And they're trying to mandate that in Illinois and trying to get rid of parental consent in New York and Illinois. So I want you to, okay, my friend Julie Ryan, the medical intuitive, she said, when these sort of things happen, there's a couple things that you should do. And I want you to do it for whatever is going on in your life. One, remain neutral. You have no idea where this is going to go. I'm excited about where it's going to go, but you have no idea. We don't know. So she said, you go to Switzerland, like remain neutral. Then you ask yourself the question, will this information kill me in the next 2 minutes? Like thinking, oh my God, all is lost. Blah, blah, blah. Is this going to kill me in the next 2 minutes? If it isn't, it's fake news. Because we don't know. We don't know. I think there's this huge swelling up of knowledge and information and support and love. I'm telling you, I've been an outlier my whole career, and now I have a whole community right in my own backyard. I mean, I was a hero at the natural food store for testifying and using all my information. And here's the other thing, and I want you to apply this in your own life. We're no longer afraid. We've come out of the shadows. They couldn't label us anti-vaxxer. That's a term, by the way, invented by the pharmaceutical industry so that they wouldn't have to really look at things. There's no such thing. Most everybody who was with us for Yes on One has vaccinated their children. And when they haven't, it's because the children have gotten a really bad reaction and it would be dangerous for them to get another one. I know some of you are from California, and you know, I know what's happened there, and I know what's happened all over. We have, oh, hi from Croatia. Hi, I hope this is happening in your countries. Anyway, yes, Pamela, you voted for choice. And my daughter Kate came out. You know, she just decided she was going to speak out. And what happened to her is she was afraid, you know, that she would lose business, right? And what happened is she had some people leave her social media, and then far more than left joined. Because when we speak out, when we speak for the light and we speak for truth, then we become magnetic to those of us who are vibrating at that same place. Anyway, back to the woman with the child who had chickenpox. She cannot get an exemption for her child for any other vaccine except chickenpox. But if I had a child who I watched regress and get a diagnosis of cerebellar ataxia and have the myelin sheath removed from their nervous system by the inflammatory result of a vaccine adjuvant, Do you think that I would want to give them the next 6 or 7 vaccines? Oh no. Oh no, no. That mama bear comes up, or a family where autoimmune disease runs in the family, and we're suddenly going to give the kid 40 different vaccines. Did you know that today's 6-month old baby gets more vaccines than those of us who are over the age of 35 had in our entire lives? That's where we are. 200 more in the pipeline. So anyhow, I just wanted you to know, because I'd been posting so much on this, right? And I wanted you to know that though I was deeply disappointed, and today is a day of grieving, we've already started the cooperative ventures to help each other educate our children. And I believe that this is going to turn out beautifully. Because without, it's kind of like lifting heavy weights. You only get stronger by lifting heavier weights. And this has been a really heavy, heavy weight. We have a lot of legislators on our side who I've met, and some of the people in our coalition are going to run for office. This is kind of like the new American Revolution, isn't it? Yeah. So I just wanted you to know, and thank you so much for tuning in and lending your support and sending your prayers. I think that they're all being answered, not in the way our ego wanted them to be, but this is the new earth that Eckhart Tolle talks about, where we stand in presence. When someone's really negative or in their pain body, or they're saying something that just isn't true, like your unvaccinated child is a risk to their immunocompromised child, actually not true. It is those who've recently been vaccinated with live virus like the MMR and chickenpox and flu. They are contagious for 7 weeks. We don't hear about that. That's the science. Anyway, just checking in with you. And thanks so much for holding the light. We'll continue to do this, but we're not going to fight to exhaustion or anything that would deplete our immunity, because we're all in this together, and we can remove the burden from our shoulders as we stand. Because when we're in a beautiful place of peace and love, we are a match to the solutions, you see. We're a match to the solutions that are going to come in. And there's so many of us now. So thank you. Thanks for listening. And here we go. We've just begun.